Hello, Sanibonani. Welcome back to my channel. Today, another episode, another conversation on Quarantine Diaries. Today, we are joined by fashion designers from around the continent of Africa. We all know the importance of fashion. It's not just a statement-making thing. It's also a necessity for us to put our clothes on. The designers that we have today will be addressing issues of the complications and the challenges that they face as African fashion designers and how we can help them to build their industries. I am not a fashion expert. I am not very well informed about fashion, but I do know that as doing enough to support our African designers. Do our leadership do enough to make sure we have industries? Do we really have to outsource everything from China and other places? Do fashion designers support each other? I will not waste much of your time. Let me welcome our first two guests, Kabaso from Zambia and Scelo of Zambia from Durban. I will give them a chance to introduce themselves, starting with Scelo. Hi and welcome. Scelo.
Hello.
Hello and welcome. Hi, can you please introduce yourself, tell us where you are locked down, and tell us what it is that you do? I will leave you, take your time introducing yourself.
Hi, Thenjiwe.
Everything about you. Yebo, Baba Slale. Can you hear me? Scelo? Yo, I do apologize. We seem to be having a problem with the network. Scelo. Okay, I will leave Scelo.
Yebo.
Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, I just asked you to introduce yourself and tell us about your brand and where you are based and where you are locked down during this quarantine. Thank you.
Oh, okay. My name is Khuzwayo. I am the founder and creative director of Gems and Valor. We are based in Durban, in Newlands West, and I am locked down in Newlands West. Thank you.
Let us introduce our second guest, Kabaso from Zambia.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I am good. Please do introduce yourself. Tell us what you are, your brand, and where you are based and where you are locked down right now. Thank you.
Okay. My name's Kabaso Nkandu from Zambia. I'm a fashion designer. I'm a creative director for a brand called Nkandu, based here in Zambia. I'm locked down in Lusaka. That's where I work from, so everything is happening from here. The lockdown is happening from here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So what are some of the challenges that you guys are facing during this lockdown as fashion designers?
One of the biggest challenges we're facing right now is because most of the things have gone on standby, meaning that the buying power for most of our staff, they've reduced. A lot of events have been put on hold. A lot of weddings have been put on hold. A lot of events, and also buying power has really reduced in the sense that there is less inflow of clientele. Meaning because a lot of people are now in lockdown, they are on self-quarantine, so they are unable to come through to support the business, to come through and say they want that made. Because as for my brand, we are we deal specifically in custom-made outfits, mostly suits, corporate weddings, event suits, and also a lot of things they've gone on standby because of what is happening right now, and it has really affected us as a brand.
Thank you so much. And Scelo of Gems and Velour, please, what are the challenges that you are facing right now during lockdown?
Well, most of the activities, such as going to see our clients and clients coming over to us, they are unable to do that due to basically the social distancing policies that we should adhere to. Already, I have a lot of people that are requesting stuff to be made, but it has to be placed on hold. Fabric merchants are just operating on the basis of just creating masks or supplying fabric that makes masks, but at the moment, our tailors cannot operate due to this quarantine. So it's really hitting us hard. Everything has to stand still at this stage until the lockdown is absolutely and really uplifted.
Yeah, it's hard.
It is
It's
really
hard
hard.
when we are going through this, but nobody prepared for this.
No, we
So
know.
what sort of, how do you see your industry changing? Because I believe that even after this lockdown, things will never go back to a normal. We're going to have a new normal.
Yes.
I think we'll just have to be much more innovative and have some kind of contingency plans as to how we're going to face with such challenges or similar challenges in the future. But we really need to have some kind of contingency or have some kind of plan for our new normal.
Kabaso?
And for one of the thing we need to take note is things will never get back to where they were before. So as designers, as creatives in Africa and other nations at large, we really need to work together and find a common ground of how we can support the industry, on how we can rob for other sectors to support the industry, so that we are able to go through this together holistically, so that the growth is notable even after this situation.
Things have changed, and things have changed forever. When I say an African designer, and someone asks me, what is an African fashion designer? Can you explain that to us? Because there seems to be a confusion. We seem to have this general thinking of an African designer is someone who makes clothes using African fabrics and who makes clothes for special African events. What is an African designer? Did you hear my question, Stan? Hello?
Able to get us?
Let me go to you, Kabaso. Did you hear my question?
Yes.
Please start and answer.
That's one element that.
Kabasa, okay. For me, just being an African designer will just merely just point you to a location where you are based as an individual and a designer. Shit.
Oh,
Kabaso, are you there?
yes.
I'm here.
Yeah, we're all here.
It's just there has been a misconception of.
Kabaso,
Can you get me?
you here?
Yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay. So I'm trying to answer a previous question. There has been a misconception concerning who an African designer is. And one thing we need to note is I'm called an African designer because I'm based in Africa. That's where my roots are. That does not mean that I am, my area of expertise is I just need to use African fabric for me to make an outfit or for me to be noticed as an African designer. No, as a continent, we are rooted with different backgrounds, with different workmanship. So we're not going to be inboxed in an area of that is not helping us to grow as fashion designers. So I'm an African designer who's able to do anything and work with any kind of fabric to make sure that I produce every element that my clients need or another client needs locally or internationally, so that we're able to compete at international level. We're also able to compete locally as brands.
Yeah, I really agree with you, Kabaso, on that one, because for me, referring to us as African design, it's just a mere identification of the location where we happen to be, which is Africa. But if you're gonna box yourself under the definition African design and you just design just African prints, you know, you're gonna be limiting yourself. You have to, for me, basically in a nutshell, it's just an identification of where you are as a designer, but you have to be able to create stuff to meet your client to meet your client needs at all times, you know. For example, I create suits and pants, and its originality springs from somewhere, but that cannot limit me since I'm based in Africa and I'm an African designer or an African creative.
Yeah, that's one thing that I would say has also helped our brand because we've been evolving as a brand in Kandayatu. Because when we started, the one thing we used to make was we used to use African print when making outfits. But as we continued growing as a brand, we've been able now to tackle all kinds of fabric to now find our balance as a brand so that we're able to compete locally here in Africa or even in Zambia, and we're able to compete at the international scene because of what our goal was to position the brand not just for the local market, but also for the international market. So we're able to deal with all the elements that were needed for us to position the brand into that angle of being an international brand, so that all the audience are able to come through and we're able to serve them accordingly to their needs.
Okay, let me just put some of your designs so that people at home have an idea of what we are talking about right now. When we say African designs are not just designs with an African. While we wait for our stuff to load, there we are, it's coming. So when we say African designs, we are not just talking about African prints. We are not just talking about things you wear when you're going to an African ceremony. We are not just, see? And before I go on and show some of the designs from Scelo of Gems and Velo, let me welcome our guest, Fezile Ntuli of Amelia Warehouse. Fezile, please come in.
I'm here.
Hey!
Finally, it works.
Hi,
Hey,
Fez. Please
thank you.
introduce yourself and tell us about your brand and what it is that you do.
Hello, everyone. My name is Fezile Ntuli from South Africa. I'm a designer for all sizes of women, and I'm designing just work for women for now. I'm doing women's clothes for now. And I mainly do, as I'm wearing stripes colors, I'm only use natural colors, monochromes. At most, it will be art prints, but I don't do deliberately, I do not do African prints at all. Yeah, that's basically my brand, but I'm sure there's some of the things in my background right now. It's some of the stuff that I've made. I'm not sure if you can see it's a whole lot of a array of stuff I've made, some of the things I've done for shows or samples of things that I'm about to do in production. But now we have Corona, so we are pretty much doing masks and nothing else.
Yeah, I was going to ask you the challenges that you are facing during this lockdown.
It's not doing all the stuff like here, as I'm saying, these samples, the stuff that I'm still about to do. But for now, because of the Corona, we can't do anything. The priority is masks. That is what I'm doing right now. So I can't wait for that to be finished. Yeah, it's not working. It's also hard to get fabrics or go out there because there's queues and, masks people are wearing, it's just too much hectic thing to even shop for fabrics. So it's at least luckily for me, as I'm doing masks, I had a pile of fabrics at home, so I didn't have to go and find fabric to make these things. So yeah, so that's the challenge. It's not doing the actual clothes because literally none of us were doing masks. We're just making clothes. So now we are forced to do stuff that we're not supposed to be doing, but we have to do. So yeah, that's the challenge.
And we were talking earlier about when someone says African designer, what does that mean to you? Because for a lot of people, it seems to mean someone who makes African clothes, someone who's a seamstress, someone who makes clothes for when we have African functions. What does an African designer mean to you?
Okay. Being an African designer, like what you're saying, it's a typical or an expectation if you're an African designer that you have African prints in your collection or in your work. But for me, it has to be everything. You have to have style, your style personally, not just making clothes for someone, because sometimes you find people are making clothes, but then they're not wearing them themselves, So it's being having that African swag. We like that. We have that vibe. We're colorful, but there's color definitely in African designers and designs, but mostly African prints. So that is just an expectation. So every time, and especially when I go outside of the continent, and people ask me, "You're an African designer, but okay, can I see your work?" And immediately when I show them my page, they see nothing of African prints and like, African designer, can you make me something? I'm going for a wedding, and I make sure deliberately that's not the fabric or maybe the prints I use, and not because there's something wrong with African prints. I believe we need to. Fashion is not just one fabric. That's another thing that I always say. It is not one fabric. It is not just African print. We have silk, there's velvet, there's leather, there's linen, there's cotton, there's all kinds of fabrics that we can use. But I think maybe if this fabric, the African print fabric that is used majorly by everyone, if only it can be translated to silk, to linen, to some other thing, so that you can maybe, it doesn't limit you in style. So now it feels like every time you have to make a suit or a ball gown, or it has to be certain specific clothes you can make with this fabric. I wish it can switch to velvet, the texture of it can be in different variations, so that we can maybe, do something that we think we can do with it. So I think the fabric alone is just limiting.
Yeah, what do you guys say to that? Kabaso, what do you say to that?
Fezile is very right. An African fabric is very limiting. I'll be honest with you. There isn't much that you can do a lot with it, but there are some other things that cannot give you as according to how you want it to come out. So what she's saying is true. If we're able to put this an African fabric texture even in other type of textures, so that we're able also to use them according to how a client needs something to come out. There are moments where a client comes to you, they want a well-fitted dress using an African fabric, and most African fabric, they are not stretchy. So you need to work according to their body types for them to fit according to the type of dress or the type of outfit that you want to make. In most cases, we find ourselves so challenged to be able to put that design that the client wants to fit them according to their body type. But if they're able to diversify this texture, even in other texture of fabric, as African print, will be able to do more and will be able to sell more as to sell the continent more as African designers. Are you there? The host is not there. You can get it. So yeah, we need to do more. We need to do more as designers. We need to look more to our people. If even we can start making this texture of fabric locally, not in all types. It could be one element that need to be tackled. It can help us to develop our economy. It can help us to develop to develop our industry as designers, as fashion designers, and we can see a good out of it. So we need to look into it in a very positive way, in a very great way, so that we're able to stay positive and stay connected. So, Fezile, are you there? Can you get me? Oh, awesome. That's the thing we need to do. The other element that we need to take on as designers, so that we can bridge the gap between what is going on. It's the need to connect more, the need to learn from each other, the need to understand each other, so that we're able to develop the industry, the African industry, the fashion industry, because we are more than powerful to conquer anything as designers.
She's back.
Oh, she is.
No, we're worried. Yeah, no, we're worried. Where's our host? Like, it's like visiting someone's house and the person leaves the house and then leaves you as guest.
What kind of life is this? If I leave you in my house, you're not gonna steal anything.
Only clothes.
Yeah. So I was just showing our audience some of your designs, guys, so that they know when we're saying African designers, we're not saying what tends to be in people's minds. This is some of Kabaso's stuff.
Okay.
Guys, nice. Why aren't we buying African designers? Why are we not?
I think that has changed. I think that has changed drastically in us buying our own clothes or buying our own. That has changed a lot. You're looking at how and the number of shops that are shutting down, that are just like Starter Force shut down in South Africa. What other shop? I think Top Shop as well. I think what other shop is there? But those big retail shops that have shut down, some of them, it shows you that people are no longer just looking to wear specifically, anything. So sometimes it's nice now to wear what you know or someone you know.
Yeah, which is very.
So it's no longer cool just to say, no, I'm wearing a big brand. Like, yeah, it doesn't matter.
And I've seen you dressing other like international stars who come to South Africa, and
Yeah.
they look for local designers to dress them. They look to wear local, which is just beautiful. And when it comes
Yeah.
to shops like the ones you mentioned, personally, I think also the Chinese market has a lot to do with it.
Yes, definitely.
People are
It has
buying
affected a
cheap
lot.
Chinese stuff, and that's something that we also need to look into, because with more than 1.2 billion people in Africa, why am I seeing H&M in every African country, but I'm not seeing Amelia warehouse even in all South African cities? When I go to Zambia, I'm not welcomed by Kabaso and his brand. Why are we not doing that? Sometimes we see even our own designers, when they get an opportunity, I hope you guys are not one of those. When they get an opportunity to be on an international stage, they go there wearing European brands, and you're like, where is your own brand? Where are the local brands? Can't you support other local brands from the country that you come from? Why are you wearing other brands? When are they going to respect us? If we think, if I wear Fendi, I wear whatever designer from another country, it means I have arrived. It means now I can afford. Can you address that issue for me, please? Ladies first.
Well, ladies first. Well, with me, I wear my own clothes as much as I can. Like right now, I'm wearing my own dress. When I travel, I will wear what, of course, I don't make shoes, so I'll buy shoes. I'll buy certain things or stuff that I don't make. I wear other local designers, the t-shirts, the dresses other people make that I do not make. So I wear local. I even if when I travel, you've seen my page. When I travel, I've made it a trench coat. I knew I was going to New York and it was cold, so I wanted something of mine that I would wear there instead of buying fair coats and everything I wanted something personal that I can wear, throughout the season. So I try as much as I can personally to wear my own clothes or other people who are doing stuff around. So yeah, the lady has addressed the issue. I understand. I've seen people who do that. And another thing that we need as a continent is this thing of going to China and make clothes there or big productions there. We need our own African base of such things. Instead of everything being made in China, if you want to design bras or underwears, we must now go there to make a mass production in China. Why do we have to go outside to get production when we can have our own? Because most people, once they get to a certain level, then they leave, then they go outside. So I think it's even the structures that we have that are not in place, maybe to have such things, or we don't have that access as yet to cover those things. But I think we need to get to that point. It's as a continent for all of us. Instead of going to China to make things, we have to do our own production right here at home.
Thank you, Fezile. And I'd like to add my 2 cents there, especially as a South African. I cannot speak for African countries. As a South African, growing up, we had a lot of people working in factories. I don't know what happened to those factories. We used to have factories. Someone would be working in a place where they make buttons. Someone would be working in a place where they make towels, linen material. We had those. What happened? Why did we let China take over? So I think that's a problem that our leaders need to solve, because not only do such things create jobs, but they must explain what happened to those things. Why did, upon getting our freedom, we lost things that were being created in our countries? What kind of freedom do we have if it means now we must go outside and get things that we used to have at home? That's a very important question, because it will create jobs. And also, if you are producing your things within your country or within Africa, it makes it cheaper for you. You don't have to be buying international flights, booking international hotels, which then also reduces the price for that your outfits are selling for. And also, if our people can support you guys and buy your clothes, if you supposedly were selling 25,000 dresses a month, the price will go down. But if you're selling 3 dresses per month, in order for you to keep up with production. That's why the Chinese are winning over us, because we are buying a lot of their stuff. Kabaso, let's go and find out what's happening in Zambia, especially with the issue that Fezile was just addressing.
To be honest, from coming from way back, there has been change. People have now started understanding the importance of supporting local brands here in Zambia, but there's just more that we need to do to grow the industry, to grow, to bridge the gap that is already there, because the fashion industry in Zambia it's still growing. We're still learning, and we're still trying to make sure that we're able to keep up with what is going on around the world. And then the biggest thing we need to change as people, as Africans, is our mindset, our mentality. If we're able to change our mind and the way we think about local brands, local designers, we're able to do much more. It's up to this generation to change the norms, to say, okay, cool, we've had it enough now. We need to move on. We need to make sure that some of these things should be locally produced within Africa, within our continent, so that we're able to grow our brands, we're able to grow our industry. I concur with Fezile. It's so expensive when you try to produce a number of things from outside. It's so expensive, and most of the time we're limited to do so. So as people, we need to change our mentality as Africans. Yes, we got our freedom, but we need to go to get our mental freedom, so that we're able to understand what we need to do as Africans to make sure that we get our economy running and we get to support these local creatives. Because trust me, we're able to do anything, given chance, given the support that we need. But all we need to change is how we think. If we're able to change the mentality of a lot of people, we'll be able to get to great places as designers, as Africans.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Scelo, what do you say to that?
Whoa. Support your fellow African brother, period, or sister. It's of paramount importance. We need it as in yesterday. Because, as we've said above, supporting local designer or creatives actually creates some kind of financial injection for us to be able to create good things, such as schools, good school fashion designs where they're gonna focus on artisanship and good craftsmanship. So for me, I feel that as you guys have also indicated, is that we have to focus on really supporting each other. It's a crucial factor to our success, and not just our success, but for us creating jobs. And with regards to manufacturing, it is still quite a big problem for South Africans, people that have fashion design companies. To be quite honest, just the other day I was having a video call with tailors from Spain, you know? Not that I don't have tailors anymore, but you know, you also want to secure the future of your own company, you know? And I feel that that shouldn't be happening. We should have local manufacturers that we're going to strike a good deal with. We're going to create a good clothes for us, good workmanship. You know, I feel that when it comes to also the leadership of the country, I think they should be a high focus on manufacturing, because the other day I was just doing a reading on Savile Row in London, like the home of bespoke tailoring. There's a gentleman by the name of Maurice Sadwell. So what he's done, he's actually created a school of bespoke tailoring to secure the future of Savile Row, to actually have good tailors and have good artisans to actually create a high degree or high quality clothing. So now I feel that that is still lacking in South Africa. Manufacturing, we always think of the outside, and that on its own, people that are going to be graduating from those schools, it also guarantees them employment. Because I feel that as designer and creatives, there's another challenge that we are facing, guys, is that I feel that a lot of designers, when they pass on this world, they pass on with their company or craft. So I feel that designers need to get to a point where they're no longer focusing on sewing, you know? They need to focus on the growth of the actual business. It's good to be a tailor, it's good to be a seamstress, but you need to start expanding the business, the longevity of the business continuity. You need to look into the future. That's why today, if you could name people that used to sew, that I grew up seeing sewing, I mean, it died with them. So I feel that we need to focus more on the business side of it, securing good mills. Guys, we need mills in Africa that are going to be supplying us with fabrics. Because as you say, if we're getting fabric from abroad and from local merchants, they're still charging us quite a ridiculous amount, you know? So we need local mills in Africa that are going to be dealing specifically with high quality fabrics. Because at this stage, we still face a great challenge in securing fabrics or sourcing fabrics. You find that maybe, like, I'm in the suit industry or suit business. You find that maybe about 3, 4, 5 guys, they would have a similar fabric to yours because we all go to the same fabric merchant, you know? So we have to support each other. We have to, designers that have started before us, they need to mentor us since we are new in the game. They need to show us a pathway, and yeah, support. That's the key. That's the key to everything.
Sure.
Anything to add? Kabaso?
Yeah, I had to get something from the gate. There was a delivery, so yeah, I'm back.
No problem. And guys, can you please, if you go to the description, I've got all the information on our designers. Do follow them so that you can get more familiar with the work they do, and do make sure that you support them. We need to support our own designers. 1.2 billion people in Africa, and we are all contributing to economies of other continents because we do not buy our own. If we buy our own stuff, it will contribute in terms of creating jobs within our continent. It will contribute into our GDP. We need to buy our own stuff. And I am going to introduce our other fashion designer. No, that's not him. No, that's not him. I thought someone was knocking. We have Yomi from Nigeria who will be joining us also. And let's just go to the comments and see what questions we have for you here. Paul Lusaka, Junior Lusaka, panelist, what plans do you have with regards to having your own raw materials in your own home country? Who wants to go first?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm listening.
I think the first step we need to take as creatives, this is the code that we need to take as everybody needs to get involved. the government need to get involved, the creative industry need to get involved, the people ourselves, we need to get involved to make sure that we are able to produce these materials within our continent, within our nation, so that the cost of material can reduce. I'm telling you right now, the cost of fabric is double the price. It's gone high, even in this time. And it's just really affected our pricing, one, because clients now cannot pay double the amount for that outfit because of the way the prices are for material, for fabric. Because all these materials have become scarce in this time, because they are most shops, they are people that stocks fabric, they're unable to import more of such fabrics. So they've noticed the demand in such fabrics, meaning that for them, they've doubled the price to make sure that they're able to make even more from that. And that has affected us as designers in this time. So imagine if if we are producing these materials, fabrics within our continent, within our country, we are able to make sure that these raw materials, are produced within, and we'll be able to access them easily. Even when there's a lockdown right now, there are manufacturers that will be working and will be able to have these materials available to us. Right now, nothing like that is happening. And so the cost of fabric has really gone high, and we need to do more as creatives, as a nation, as government, to make sure that we're able to start producing these raw materials within our continent, within our countries.
Okay, just to add, I think this question also is very broad. To say when can we start, or with regard, or plans regarding us having our own material or raw materials. There's a lot involved. The main thing that we lack first is financial support. Anything is possible. We can be creative. We can create your own fabric, your own texture, your own style. All of that requires money. So everything boils down to the costs of how things can happen, how we can make it, how we can produce. We need to afford to have these factories, to be able to run them. And another thing, just what you were saying earlier on before I left, you said sometimes you feel like South African designers, or mostly design, or anyone who's a designer, they die with their brand. Someone said that earlier between the two of you guys. Someone was talking about that we feel like sometimes the designer dies. If they pass away, they die with their own brand and work, and they don't leave it for the next generation. Another part of that, you can't force passion or your passion on somebody else, even if it's your child or somebody you work with, because it comes from you. It needs your energy. It can never run like you, even if you're gone. Depa Dan can work his everything that he's doing now for Gucci or his own brand, but how he's handling it, you can't pass on your own gift. It's just a thing. Unless if you find someone who's passionate like you about your passion, they will take care of your baby, even if you're gone, as you know, better maybe. But it just requires passion more. But with regards to the fabric and raw material making of our own thing, yes, definitely we would love to do it. We definitely love to do it, but the cost involved.
Anything to add?
I feel like are we connected? Are we cutting
I'm
off?
Here.
Okay.
I'm here. Kabaso, anything to add to that one? Before I move on to the next question, or shall I move on?
No, you can move on.
Mm-hmm.
Honmash Photography wants to know, who owns the textile industry? I feel the fashion designers cannot do much until we own the manufacturing of those materials and fabrics. Let's discuss
exactly. That exactly what I was just saying earlier. It's boiled down to cost. Anything is possible. I mean, I'm a designer, but I'm not owning a fabric shop. You see what I mean? I can, but now when I'm getting involved in more fabrics, is choosing what I'm creating, when I'm making a dress, or I'm making my own fabric. Now that is me getting more involved in textile and now creating an actual fabric for my own clothing brand or for my own anything. But designers, really, we are creative. It's like it's exactly the question of saying maybe an actor or an actress has a right on a production or a cable or channel. Unless you own it, then you can say more. You have more, control of that situation. But that to put everything on us, it is impossible.
Impossible.
Yeah, so we need our leaders.
Fashion is
The
broad.
problem is on
We have
top.
models. We have people. Yeah, there's a lot. Yes, it is bigger. It is bigger than us. Than just creating clothes. We need. There's so many people involved before you even have one item out. There's
True.
someone who must sit behind that machine, create those things that you in production, in a mass production. Now you've done your sample, you have someone who has to make that sample, you have someone who has to do that whole production of all your clothes that you must produce, and then on top of that you must make sure you have your your labels right. So all those, the process of just making things involves a lot of person. You are just not working as one. It's a lot. It can some of the things we can answer to, but not everything, because it involves a lot of people.
So we need to open industries that you guys can work with to have them within the continent. We need to have fabrics within the continent. We need to have everything from labels, buttons, because if things are cheaper for you guys, then it becomes cheaper as an end product. But if you have to fly, yes,
Another thing, just so the cheaper thing situation. There's another big thing that we have of believing that a specific brand maybe, or mainstream high-end brands that are, I would say high-end brands, those. But when you look at high-end brands, it is acceptable for people to say, I bought this jersey or this shirt for 30K. But you can't do that with your prices. There's a thing that we use very wrong, to assume that someone's creativity must be valued by us. We forget the work that is involved in creating. When I'm saying my dress is 2,000 rand, I understand the work that is involved in making sure this dress is 2,000 rand. So I'm not gonna shake on it. I'm not gonna change it because of you. But if it is that the price, I think we have to drum it to people that the value of something. If I've decided that this is the cost, of course there's something that will be outrageous, and maybe if you're not the target market for it, but you can't now change your whole business because you want to be cheap for everyone.
But the thing
I
is,
think that is a wrong mentality that we do.
And get a dress for 40 rand from a Chinese shop.
Yes, but you go to a specific shop, you are willing to spend 5,000. When I'm saying the dress is 1,000, like what? How much do you want it to be?
Say
Like how cheap do you want someone to get? When another thing, and on top of all these costs that we are part of, sorry, yes, you can add up because I can go on and on. Yes.
Finish. Say it all.
Oh yes. Okay. With the cost thing, with when we say this dress is too much of the price, we were just explaining right now the cost involved of just production, of just creating things, of producing. We are struggling in fabrics. The fabric cost alone, you haven't made this dress. You still have to pay the factories for the work for the labor that they're doing for you. You still have to pay throughout the process of you producing things, and then at some point you must now have this cheap how.
Anything to add there? I've got a question for you before we move on to more questions.
No, what she's saying is very right. We have a situation of undervaluing the creativity that is put in some of the outfits that we produce as designers within Africa, and that's really, really bad because if we begin to undervalue the creativity of designers that are based in Africa, that's just that is affecting us and affecting the growth of our brands and affecting the growth of our businesses as African designers. So the moment we begin to value and to pay for items according to how much these designers they've placed the price on, it will be the starting goes to creating this industry, to putting this industry in line with how we want it to be as Africans designers. But if we're always going to value an international brand over our own brand, locally produced items, we're killing ourselves, we're killing the industry, we're killing the nations, we're killing the economy, because from this thing that we're making, a lot of people are like, they depend on it. Like Fezile was saying, the process is too high. Everybody is involved to make sure that this product is produced. So the moment we cut on one item, one segment from the cost, meaning that the cost of that item won't be the same, and another person that depends on that pay from whatever production we're doing won't get that pay, meaning that the economy will continue being affected. So the moment we start to support the local brands that are based within Africa over international brands, that's the startup goal that we need to take as Africans, to make sure that we build our own fashion industry so that we're able to make up and to produce these materials locally as fashion designers, as a nation, as a continent. That's the step that we need to take.
What I often experience is that Africans don't mind paying any set of amount of money for any brand they see off the rack, you know? Just yesterday, there was a guy that had a coat, I won't mention names, you know? Just a jacket, it was about 10 grand, you know? And he was telling me that his brother bought this jacket. It's at his place. So I told him that, can you take a picture of the fabric composition? To my surprise, it was just polyester, you know? But how do you pay for so much money for polyester? And I've often seen it at suit stores, for example. A suit will be worth 15 grand, and there's someone that's going to buy that suit for 15 grand without asking any question. So for me, I think for us African people, we still need a certain degree of education and a little bit of convincing to actually understand that, look, we're creating the Rolls Royce of suits in South Africa or in Africa at large. You know, people need to understand, people need to understand the workmanship that actually goes into constructing a garment, you know? Obviously, we're still facing a deal of challenges such as the sourcing of fabrics. I mean, we still get some fabric merchants that don't even respect us, you know? That don't, you know, have, well, I don't want to say they don't have love, but then there's that sense of disrespect when they're dealing with us, you know, when purchasing fabrics. Again, if you are lucky and you're able to strike a deal with the mill from Europe, Italy, Spain, or wherever, yes, you're gonna pay a lot of money at customs when clearing that fabric. So your price will be pushed high. The type of labor that you apply, it's of utmost precision. The fabric that you get, it's high quality, but then again, it's too expensive. You know, and the only solution, and the solution for us, is to have mills in Africa. We have to have dedicated mills. We have a lot of sheep in Africa, you know. If we don't, we can, you know, outsource the whole manufacturing process. We do need our own mills, and that's the end of story. We need to have good schools that actually follow the old or traditional ways of design, you know, that will assure us when it comes to quality that is going to be created as an end product. But guys, this needs to stop of where I'm going to be questioned. I mean, I can answer why my fabric costs so much, my garment costs so much, but then it shouldn't be a norm, you know, that every time I have to be questioned, why do I charge so much, you know? You can, you know, I mean, today people can just purchase an X brand online for 25 grand with no question. It's gonna be delivered at their doors. But I mean, we need support from you guys, because if you guys support us, then we're gonna create a lot of jobs. And in the long run, if we create mills and factories to manufacture, we're gonna resurrect or revive the mill industry. We're gonna revive basically everything. I mean, hence creating job opportunities.
Fezile, I can see you are itching to say something.
I want to add to what he's saying. This thing of, yes, we have good quality in we make sure we put good quality in our work. But there's also some of the brands where you buy something or X brand, you buy something online for 25K. And there's another big thing that is not being addressed. Some of these X brands, the high mainstream brands, they copy our normal African style and then hike the price because it's now reaching a specific brand. We've seen it. I'll make just an example. The Ndebele poncho. When that brand took it, and then they now all the ponchos, so all of a sudden 40,000. I'm just making an example. So, and there is that high end or mainstream brands, but their whole work is some of it copied from us, and
it's all
it's
in
just
the
the
mind.
truth. It is
Even
just the
with the
truth.
Maasai.
So we cannot doubt ourselves and assume, and people can stop assuming that our work is of not good quality when it's exactly the same thing. You know, when you see two pictures of celebrities and say who wore it better, something like that. I will always say the person who created it wore it better. You can't tell me you wore it better because you copied from me. There's absolutely no, it doesn't make any sense. So it's things like that. Just like this dress. If you take this dress and then the whole thing that I made there. If you take the same thing, put a specific brand under there, now it's okay if you cost this whole look 30,000. It's okay. But if I can't do that. If it's not a known brand, you still have to prove yourself. Well, we are proving ourselves, but our work is taken by those who are saying we must prove ourselves, and they use it for themselves. So, right there's a problem.
Okay, we are now joined by our fellow fashion designer from Nigeria, Mr. Yomi Casual of Yomi Casuals. Let me welcome him, and then we continue because I can see you guys are itching. Yomi, hello and welcome.
Hi, how are you doing, Thenjiwe?
We
Hello.
are good, Yomi.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi,
the
everyone.
discussion is heating up. Let me just take you back a little bit. Please do introduce yourself, your brand,
Okay.
where you are based, and what challenges are you currently facing during the lockdown as a fashion designer?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Makun Omoni Yomi. I'm a designer. Yomi Casual is my fashion name. And I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. Good. So, what am I facing so far? I think the major thing I'm facing in the fashion industry as a fashion designer so far is that most of my clients, they are top people, they are top individuals, and at this point, I don't really have access to them at this point, and it's really killing the business, you know. So I've been able to learn one or two things that, okay, fine, you as a designer, you don't only focus your brand on top individuals. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So I think that's really a big challenge for me as a designer at this point.
Yeah, things are hard. Kabaso, you were itching. Let me allow you to talk. Please do inform Yomi what we are commenting on so that he knows what we are currently talking about. Thank you.
We were talking about how it's been hard for people to understand the pricing of our commodities, and how they usually question why your garment so expensive, why are your garments priced like that? So we're trying to justify that statement, not justify, but tell it the way it is, because for our prices to be like that, it's because of the amount of work that is put on the fabric that is involved, and other people that are involved to make sure that garment is up to standard. But again, there's one point that I wanted to share. If we're gonna win in this, if we're going to win as designers in this area, we need to make sure that we position our brands in a way that is able to sustain ourselves, to sustain the local, to sustain us as designers. Let's say if I'm pricing my suit at let's say $10,000, just an example. I need to be consistent with my pricing. Not this one I'm giving him at 10,000. Another client comes, I'm reducing to 5. Another client, I'm giving them at $2,000. We need to stay consistent so that these people understand that this person, their pricing is like that. What is killing us designers most of the time? We tend to like our prices fluctuate according to the kind of person that we meet. Okay. So
right.
if we need to win in this angle as designers, we need to stay consistent. We need to position our brand in the way that everybody, when they're walking, they're able to pay according to the amount, to the price that is there. When it's either they are buying according to that price or they are not buying. In that way, if we create ourselves in that, we'll be able to create ourselves in a way that we want to be as brands and as fashion designers within Africa. So we need to do more as us when it comes to brand position and identity.
True.
And
true,
also,
true.
I think it's very important to remember that African designers matter. African designers also put in a lot of work, because we as Black people of Africa have this tendency that if I go to Sentin, the more I pay, the happier I am. But if I come to an African designer, I want to negotiate. It's the same thing we do when we go to Woolworths. We do not negotiate the price, we take and pay. But when we go to that mama who's selling on the side of the road, we want to negotiate. It's a mentality of mental slavery. We need to make sure we stop that. Fezile, you are dying to say something, I can see.
Yeah, I was one of those kids that are sitting in front in class because me and the teacher must interact like this. Another thing that I wanted to add into what you're saying, I think the term "we support you" has to stop. I'm giving you a service that you want, just like in a restaurant. That you pay for the food that you ordered. So you're not supporting the restaurant. You were hungry, you ordered food, and then this is what they gave you, right? Just exactly how you will go, and exactly when you go shopping in any other shop, you go there, you say you're shopping. How is it not shopping when you buy from me? How is it support? You are buying what you wanted, because it's not like you are doing me a favor. I think that mentality of acting of looking at it as a favor of some sort. You are helping me. You could have gone somewhere else, but because it's you, I'm supporting you. I think that mentality must change, because what the dresses I make, you cannot find them anyway. They're mine. They're my concepts. So how is it support? How is it that term of saying support when you're buying from a Black person or an African designer must stop?
I think one of the problems that have evolved over time is the fact that I've often heard a person saying, back then when I was still in high school, whilst preparing for matric dances and stuff like that, visiting our tailors, because I used to visit tailor. I was a very devoted person to one tailor, So you'll find the person that's saying that I can't afford that Hugo Boss coat, so I'm gonna have it tailored. It's a wrong thinking. Don't ever think that if you're gonna go to someone to create something from you from scratch, it's gonna be cheaper. It's actually an expensive option to get something created just for you. And it's only in the past, I cannot be precise about the years, but whilst chatting with one of the old tailors in Durban, he told me that when clothes started being made off the rack, a lot of gentlemen that came from a background of having their clothes tailored were actually complaining because it didn't fit well, it had to be altered and stuff like that. So people need to get it in their heads that getting stuff tailored or visiting a seamstress is an expensive option, unfortunately.
Yeah, Yomi, anything to add to that, please?
Good. I've been observing. I'm trying to understand the topic, what it's really all about. I've heard my sister here said Fezile, right? Fezile
Mm-hmm.
Ntuli. Yeah, you made a lot of points. And at some point I was thinking that is only common in Nigeria. I never knew it's all over Africa, whereby people make you feel less for make you feel like they are doing you a favor by wearing your products. You know, me as a designer, I've been in the industry for 13 years, and I think it is normal. It is very normal at that beginning stage, at that early stage when you're starting your career as a designer. You can give out free clothes for people to wear just because you want to make the brand known. But then if you have hustled for like 5 years in the industry and you've made a name for yourself, you shouldn't allow anybody make you feel less like they are trying to do you a favor. Like for me as a person, that's a total turn off for me. The moment you just mention, Yomi, I'm gonna wear this outfit at the Grammys award, it will help you, and I'll be like, no, you wear it to the Grammys. Will JLo call me that she wants the cloth? No. So why are you telling me if you wear my outfit at the Grammys it's gonna help me? No, it's not gonna help me at this point, because at this point right now in my career, I've hustled for how many years? So at this point, what I need now is money. You have to pay me my money. Yes, you have to pay my money. Pay for your service. Pay for your service, because you know the only reason why you come to me to make you an outfit to wear to the Grammys, because you believe in what I do. You believe my
You are
design,
not,
you believe my designs can measure up with those designers wears they'll see on the red carpet. That was the only reason why you came to me, not because you just want to help me. Don't say you want to help me. You're not helping me. We are both helping each other. I'm helping you look good. So in return, you have to pay me money.
and the main problem is that our same people go and buy European designs for a lot of money. And also, what people are not aware of is in Africa, some of the big shops are selling them fake. They are going
Of
to
course.
Congo, buying fake stuff, and coming back just because it has a name. I once saw someone wearing a shirt with all the names. The label was Hugo Boss, the buttons were Versace, but the material was LV. I've seen our celebrities wearing stuff that when you go to the shop, they say, hey, tell us who made this design because we haven't made it yet. So just because it has a name, number one, doesn't mean it's original. But when you go to Yomi, you know this is a Yomi Casual. I bought it from Yomi. If you go to Amelia Warehouse, you know Fezile made this. It's Amelia Warehouse. And another thing I'd like you guys to address for me is the difference between you guys and the seamstress. Because people will say, I like this dress. Where did you get it? And then I say, oh, I bought it from Fezile. How much is it? I tell them the price, and they're like, oh, can you give it to me? I'll take it to the woman next door. She makes clothes. She can make it for me. What's the difference? And what is copyright as well? Thank you. Who wants to go first? Yes,
A
sir.
according to my understanding and the research that I've been doing in the past years, a tailor specializes in suiting and pants and shirt making. And then the seamstress will be a person that actually deals with the making of dresses. Well, tailoring, I'm in the tailoring business, and at this stage, we haven't tapped into creating dresses for lady, but in due course, we will be doing what you call dresses for ladies once we go down that path and actually establish ourselves in ladies' clothes. At this stage, we only do suiting for ladies and suiting for men, and pants for ladies and men. But that's the difference. So, a tailor is a person that focuses mainly on suit making and seamstress dresses.
Okay. Anyone to add to that? Anything to add?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Yomi?
Good.
Yes, I can hear you.
I'm just gonna add one or two to what he said. I think one of the major problems we are facing right now in the fashion industry is that we have loads of people that call themselves designer. They should know the difference. A lot of people don't know the difference. We have people that do amendments. You do alterations. We have those people. We have people that are called designers. We also have people now presently that go online to copy designs and get a group of tailors, put them in a room to copy people's design, and they call themselves designers. That's what we have now. We have more of that presently in my country. We have more of people like that presently. And that's why you see everybody, like, trust me, the market is not going to crash soon. They are making it very difficult for us. For some of us that are doing the right thing, they're making it difficult for us because you spend your time creating designs, and the next thing you just see your design on one post on Instagram, and the guy calls himself wanting couture. Some of them can never pronounce the name couture very well, and they say, "Oh, I'm a designer," and everything. Like, it's really crazy right now. So they should know the difference. A lot of people don't know the difference at all. They don't know the difference. They're talking about copywriting. In my country, I don't see that happening anytime soon. I don't see that happening anytime soon because even the people you are hoping to help you with copyright, like to help you to stop copyright in Nigeria, they are the ones even stealing your designs to go and give to your younger brother who calls themselves tailors. Yeah, so that's not going to stop anytime soon. So I don't know about South Africa, but in Nigeria, no, it's not going to stop soon.
Yeah, Fezile, anything to add?
It's everywhere. What Yomi was just saying, that what Yomi was saying just now, that what you're talking about, people who just go, because the thing is, they used to say, oh, when you post your work on social media, you must put a watermark of your brand name on top of it so that they don't copy. That doesn't work. Someone will screen grab the photo and do exactly what they want to do. Like, this whole thing of putting a watermark to protect your work it doesn't work. And another thing, social media has made everything accessible and easy. And you can be copied someone who's somewhere in China, somewhere in Japan, somewhere in Brazil. So you are not being copied by people who are around you. Just so you know, it's not limited to people who are around you. It's everywhere. You will find sometimes, but I think I posted this thing that I was wearing last week, exactly this week. How did this person look like this, like me, the following week somewhere else? So social media has made it accessible. And the hashtags that we use, style, fashion, designer, menswear, all of those hashtags, they have so many people roaming around. And immediately when you click there, you can copy anyone's work. So it's everywhere. It's not in Nigeria, it's not in South Africa only, it's just everywhere. People copy your work. And it's not people who copy your work that do not know fashion, it's not limited to that. Like I said earlier on, even mainstream brands copy people who just started doing fashion yesterday. So your work is not being copied by people who are just, new in the space. No. Don't forget about those, because the people who've been there, they want to make sure they stay there very long. The pressure is more on them than somebody new coming in the space. So they also copy.
Mm-hmm.
And some international brands have been surviving through copying.
I keep on saying,
a small designer from rural KZN, who's gonna say Hugo Boss copied you?
True. Because you know what? I was going to say something. Yeah, I was in South Africa. I think the first time I came to SA, Thenjiwe. Yeah, I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
Then I went to this shop. Is this Zara shop in
yes.
Where was that again? So I was in Zara shop, and I wore one of my outfits with the sneakers, and the manager came downstairs. He came downstairs, and the guy is an African guy. I don't know what country, but he sounded a bit African, and he was like, "I like what you're wearing. Where did you get it from?" And I told him I made it. So, oh, nice. Can I take a picture of it? Yeah. And I was wondering, like, why would the manager of Zara want to take a picture of what I'm wearing? So I was just wondering, like, why? Then let me tell you this. Few months later, like 6-7 months later, Zara brought out a design. I'm going to post that thing. I was going to post it earlier, like last year, but AY said, no, don't do that. It's not as if you are calling out somebody. What they now did, they refurbished my design. They worked on it and made it look a bit more foreign, more funky. And
but you can see,
presently that design is in Zara store. They are selling that design in Zara store. And
I agree with
over
him.
the years, I came to realize that Zara does not only they don't have just one designers. They take designs from everybody all around the world. If you have a design today, send them an email, they'll accept it.
Yeah,
That's what they do. That's what they do. So I'm very sure that manager made money off me that day by sending that picture to them. Like, oh, I have one new design, and they must have paid him some amount of money.
it sounds like a lie when you tell people that. That is why I don't even say to people anymore.
Why would they say? Why would they?
When
They
I
will
walk
be like,
into a
why
normal-
would they Yomi? Why would they Zara copy a Yomi Casual for what?
So
A big
it's
Zara.
unbelievable to people. You sound crazy when you say that to people, but I have seen a lot of some of the things I've made in big retail stores. I've seen it, but I'm not gonna mention names. It's okay. No one will believe me anyway, so I will sound like a crazy beta person. So it's okay. I will still carry on doing what I'm doing.
It's one
Yeah,
element.
but someone here keeps on addressing or asking something about our pricing. Or how we, it's just that I must go back to the screen. It's on.
Okay.
It's first time using this, but somebody there is just asking
Okay,
about our
let's,
pricing.
here is the question.
Yes, this Andile. Yes, okay.
So,
This Andile.
can you touch
Yes,
base
I've
with
been
that
seeing, but it's just that I have to
point?
close that page.
Can you just go back to that and give him the basic points, because we already did touch on
We've
that.
covered that, but maybe he joined
We covered
later.
that. If Andy, if you can rewatch when we finish, you'll be able to understand this as a point that has been
We have addressed our pricing situation.
I think
we are not going
regarding-
to be cheap, Andy.
Regarding the pricing, regarding the pricing, I think that's one of the most annoying thing. That was the most annoying part that accuse me all the time, because I don't know why you think it's convenient for you to buy a Nike for $1,000 and you can buy a Yomi Casual for $1,000, and they now use the word but it's locally made. But Yomi Casual is locally made. You know, so it's crazy.
Can I just address Andile as a non-fashion designer? I am not a fashion designer. He says I can go buy a European suit at a lower cost than a local tailor. You need to evaluate. Just like I can go to Pep and buy a pair of jeans for a lower price than I will if I went to a designer shop. There's always something cheaper. You buy cheap, you buy twice. Look at the quality. Just because something is bought from Europe doesn't mean it's better quality. It can be bought in Europe, but it's made in a cheap factory in China. It can be bought in Europe, but it's from Primark. Just because something is bought in Europe doesn't make it better than something that's made in Africa. That's the same mentality we have, where we would respect a homeless white person more than we respect a black person. We need to get away from mental slavery. Just because something is from Europe doesn't make it better quality. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Thenjiwe. You know, some of these people, they forget the fact that some of these European wares, they are on mass production. We don't do mass production. Everything we do is cut to made. Like we cut and make from the scratch.
Just like what you were saying. With the design that you made, you mentioned that design that was copied from your work at Zara. So they do mass production. If it's everywhere, they're gonna make it cheap.
Because if I want to do mass production, it's very easy for me. I can take a design to China and mass produce it at a very cheaper rate with low quality fabrics. Take it back to Nigeria, and I'll sell them very, very cheap. But does that really help my brand?
No, it doesn't.
That's not the kind of brand I want to have. So if I have 20 pieces out there, I want those people to be very comfortable and say, "Oh, I bought this stuff from Yomi Casual 10 years ago, and I can still wear it."
Yeah,
the quality is very good and everything. You know, not like you buy it and you wear it to on vacation. The next thing, after like 2 days, you wash it, the outfit is gone.
And also, Yomi, as Africans, 1.2 billion people. As long as when I go to Nigeria, I find this European shop. I go to Zambia, I find this European shop, which means they are selling 100,000 units in each of the 54 countries in Africa. Obviously, they're gonna outprice us.
Yes.
Obviously,
And
they
the, if
cannot
you,
sell at the same
the more
price.
you produce, the less the price.
Prices will be lower.
That's why.
And just to also add on something there with regards to the question that was posed by Andile Ncube. You know, whilst doing my research, I think it was sometimes last year, listening to one of the CEOs of a shirt company that I can't mention. You know, he said something very interesting that they used to outsource their labor in Italy, but as time went by, he got to learn that not all things that are written made in Italy are actually made in Italy. So well, Andile needs to understand that even the stuff that you find in Europe, chances are that they are highly mass produced in China. And again, there's questions of quality. And I mean, a tailored suit and off the rack suits will always have a huge difference. That's why what we always tell people that at Gems and Valley, we don't just sell garments. We're selling an experience. We want you to feel good, not just in terms of your mood, but be comfortable when you're wearing that particular garment. And chances are that go and buy that cheap suit in Europe, wear my suit or any tailor's tailored suit, you'll feel
Yours
the
is
difference.
dope,
You're
fam.
gonna tell me. You're not gonna
Yours is
tell me.
dope.
It's
Yours
true.
is dope,
Period.
fam.
It's like I said at first.
Exactly. You see? Right there, right there, right there, right there.
First thing I said at first.
And this is the one you buy in Europe.
I remember saying,
You're buying in Europe, or are you buying in Africa?
No.
Oh, and you know, like your choice.
I ended mention to say that the first thing we need to do is to set
You
the
said
mentality.
I must buy that suit, the European suit.
This one, oh,
Oh, this one's from Europe.
this
This
one
is
from
Ulo.
Europe. This one is from Africa.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I said,
Nice.
Exactly.
It's your
the
choice.
You know,
Nice.
The
you
first
know,
thing
guys, just to add one more thing is that most of us come from backgrounds where tailoring was the order of the day. You know, my dad used to tailor his clothes, my brothers tailored their clothes, and most of the clothes that were tailored for me as a kid, once I switched to stuff that I was buying off the rack later on in life, I realized that the experience was not the same.
yeah.
And that's just one thing that people need to understand. I've often had people ask me, why are you wearing a sport jacket or a suit and it's so hot? I always tell them that I'm feeling very cool right now because the material that I'm wearing is quite breathable. So I'm emphasizing on this, guys. People need to understand that we all about the experience, experience and experience all the way.
Yeah, ne? Yomi, what do you
Yeah.
say?
I think they've made valid points, and yeah, I quite agree with them. With my brother, you're making good points, Mr. James. Is that a full name, James?
Gems and Valor.
Please tell me the full name, please. It sounds like that James, like
He was born in a
there's one
hospital full of gems.
No, man, you can't say that. It's a word. It's a word that's derived from gemstone. So it's gems and valor.
Oh, James and Valley. Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome. Awesome.
it's what we stand for at Gems and Valor. We convert ordinary people into gemstones, and we give them valor, courage to face every day's challenge in appearance, and we achieve that quite successfully.
Nice one. Nice
So
one.
yes,
Okay,
it's Gems and Valor, Yomi.
Before we move on and go back to the questions, let me show you some of Yomi's designs because you haven't seen them. And then tell me you are not willing to pay. Are you really going to compare that with something off the rack, with something cheap. And this is Fezile. And I do have our designers' names and contacts on the description. Please follow them so that you can get to know, because I cannot put all their work here right now. And this is Jansonville. And tell me, you think you don't want to pay for that? There is more on their pages. And let me show you Kabaso. Let's see what they make in Zambia. So guys, let us stop thinking that African designers are not good. All these are made in Africa. All these are made in Africa, in our own Africa. Let us support our own, let us support our designers. Let me move on to some of the questions. There was a very interesting question. Let me look for it. People seem to be concerned about the price. I wish you could do the same when you go to Sentin and tell the designers that they are expensive. When you say an African is expensive, it means you have valued yourself cheap. You think an African should be cheap. It's all mental slavery.
Of course, I think when you know your value, you place your value on your product.
On the product, it's true.
You know, so yeah, I don't ever let anybody tell you are expensive. No, the person don't know what he wants. No, don't tell them I'm not expensive. You just can't afford me now. Maybe for now, yeah, for now you don't have the money. I understand. Don't tell me I'm expensive.
Yes, it's true.
Yeah, because if that's how life is, that means everything's expensive. Because right now, I actually want a Rolls Royce, so I will not say a Rolls Royce is too expensive. Why? I can't afford it now. It's not expensive.
Go buy a test. Buy a test.
So if what you have can buy you a Beetle, like the only days Beetle, like for $10 or $20 or $50, go and buy it. And you should know what you can afford.
And the other thing that we need to work on is, I don't understand why most of these people, they like to compare when they come to pricing. They'll come to you and say, Nkandayatu, your suits are so expensive, but when I go to this one, their prices are so low. So I'm just like, man, right now, yes, you cannot just, if you can afford me, pay for them right now. But if you cannot afford me, go to the other option that you have. But one thing that I can assure you is I'll give you quality and I'll give you the experience that you've never had. And when you put on that outfit, it'll be a talk of not just, everybody will see you that you are there, because it is a tailor-made outfit. It's tailored to fit, to cover your experience, to make sure that you enjoy that process and you enjoy that moment in that outfit. So that's one thing that we need to work on. Our clientele need to understand that our value differs, okay? So the value of my product can never be compared to the value of another designer's product. So if you are able to afford me, then afford me then. But if you can't, it's understandable. So it's an African mentality that we need to deal with. It's a mentality that we need to change if we have to grow as African designers, and if we have to grow our own industry within our continent, to make sure that most of this product we are busy producing from Europe, from China, can be locally produced so that we're able to grow our economy. Yeah. And that is possible.
I can see you, Fezile.
No, I can't hear anything. That's what I was saying.
I do not know. Please check your speakers.
I can hear you, but was it Yomi or Kabaso who was talking earlier? I couldn't hear anything they were saying.
It was Kabaso.
Yeah, he was talking. I could see movements, but there's no sound coming from him.
Anyone to add to that before we move on? And that's something that affects us all, even in comedy. People will pay for an American comedian with an accent they don't understand, and stories they cannot even relate
Relate.
to. They will pay 5 times more than they will pay for a local. And those people will come here, take the money, and leave. Same thing with music. It's just we need to change the African mentality. Let's move on to this question, unless you guys have something to add on to the previous one.
There was okay. The previous question. It's just that I couldn't hear anything. What can you pull the previous question again? Because I can see
that
this
was
one.
just a comment. We were still talking about the pricing and yeah.
Ah, okay. I missed
Okay,
the
the
whole part.
serious
Couldn't hear
one,
anything.
or the not serious. The next
The
one,
plus
Sandra
size.
Lavina says, on a serious note, why is it our designers are not exploiting the plus size market? Because as a plus size woman, I struggle to get clothes that don't look like they were made for my grandmother.
I
Yep,
always okay, because I make women's clothes, and everyone when they see my size, they assume I do not have a large or extra large or double XL. There's an assumption that when you're thinner, you hate people who are plus size, or you won't cater for them. It's an expectation. But with me personally, I will speak for my work. My sizes start. In fact, I have smaller sizes than bigger sizes. So my sizes start from small to double XL in clothing covering women. Because this is the one thing I believe. If I'm able to look good in a small dress, just do the same thing on a big dress. It'll look good. Who must look bad as a female? Like this, I always have that thing. I understand in big retail stores, maybe they don't have certain specific sizes or bigger sizes, but I try to accommodate, sizes up to double XL as much as I can, or 42, 44, somewhere there. But yeah, I understand what she's saying, and there is a huge gap and space for big girls and clothes in general. Because I don't understand, why does it have to look like a sack when it's a large, when it's more like it must be cute and all of this. And then immediately when you go to size 40, 42, 44, and then now it's just people are wearing blankets, which is, I don't think it's a fair thing to do. Oh, and earlier on, because I couldn't get the sound, that someone who was talking about, you see, both of that jumpsuit I made. Why do I have to make this jumpsuit to be a small only? It can be a large. It can be you know what I mean? So why the thing is, even in suits, I don't know about guys mostly, but I'm sure you can accommodate a guy who's tall and large, or so it's that. And there's somebody earlier on who was talking about people must stop expecting designers or local designers to have almost free things from them. The free clothes, guys, I think that whole thing must stop completely. Free clothes we must stop free clothes completely. The process of creating clothes costs us. When especially we are a comedian or an actor or an actress, I don't understand the concept of constantly assuming we must get free clothes. I don't understand because somebody said to me, it's brand exchange. What are we exchanging? You are going to be you are a presenter and going to DJ. Like, what are we exchanging, me and you, on this part? Because you will go to a big shop and you buy, like, it's brand exchange. What are we exchanging? Like, I don't get it. What am I getting out of it? Because this is the thing. You tag me on your social media page, and then I get likes of that whatever outfit that you're wearing that you got from me because you got it for free. So clearly it's brand exchange. So I press like. So how does that? The whole process of even getting that item to get to you, I've paid throughout. I've bought the fabric. I paid for it. Didn't get it for free. From getting a fabric, I didn't get it for free. I paid for it. I paid the production. I paid the entire process, and you are getting it for free. What? How is this?
Customize it to your size.
I think it's enough now saying people are giving them exposure if you are just dressing the thing and posting it on Instagram because you have 2 million followers. Chances are I have sold dresses of just me posting on my own, not posting to someone because they are celebrities, and then that dress was bought because of them. No, I think it's the idea of if I post your brand on my page, people are gonna buy you. Otherwise, they won't buy you. If It's a whole new, it's a different thing. I don't understand it, but it must stop now. Free clothes
Can I
must
just
stop.
add that when it comes to brand exposure, we have to stop it. Because when I go to a supermarket with a trolley full of food, I don't tell
And this is a thing. And this is the main thing.
I'm famous. I have 1 million followers. So this is going to be brand exposure if I eat your yogurt. It's going to be brand exposure if I eat your food. We don't
And
say
this is the main thing. This is the main thing.
brand exposure.
This is the thing.
What is it what they call it?
The
Exposure.
brand exchange. I
It's
don't
a
know
brand
how to exchange
exchange.
it.
It doesn't pay anybody's bills. It doesn't feed
Thank
anyone.
you.
Number
Thank
two,
you.
another trend that needs to stop is that when I see celebrities wearing a brand that they paid a lot of money for, that's from overseas, on the red carpet, and they are asked, who are you wearing? They say it with pride. I'm wearing this. I won't mention
And they paid for it.
they
Something
pay
they
for
paid.
it. But when they're wearing Yomi's free stuff, they'll be like, from my wardrobe, artist own.
You see, so far, what I
If the
know,
artist makes clothes, even when you see in magazines, they will say shoes by, belt by, dress, artist own.
every single detail, but no, this is the thing, it's all paid for.
I see people when they're wearing local brands, it will be pledged. But when they're wearing brands from overseas, the brand
That
shows.
they paid for. And there was no brand exchange when they're buying in the mainstream high-end market kind of brands.
I even don't like
It's some,
the way-
and another thing,
the
and that's the
way-
thing,
the way mainstream.
the mainstream high-end market brands don't have ambassadors. There's only sports brands. So you're not an ambassador, you paid. You paid for it.
Yeah.
But exactly. I'm giving an example. Who is an ambassador for Louis Vuitton? Let's just talk. Do you have an ambassador for Versace? Do you have an ambassador for Burberry? Like, they don't have ambassadors. You pay for those things. Stop. People.
Anyone to add anything?
No, like there's too much. What Fezile is saying is very true. There's too much brand. They exploit these designers most of the time, especially when it's come to that. No, I'll make this for me. I'll post you. You get likes, stuff like that. That no longer works. We need to find a way of both the entertainment industry and the fashion industry to support each other to make sure that we grow both elements together. At the end of the day, you need to pay for you to get a service. So it's just one element that we need to look in as designers, as entertainment, even the entertainment industry. That's the element that we need to look into, so that we work together to make sure that each service that each person is providing to someone is paid for fully.
Yeah. Earlier on, we were talking about design. I don't know whether to call it theft without getting into trouble, but the fact that Yomi even told us a story where you see your design now being somewhere else, and who are you, an African child, who's gonna say my design has been stolen? Especially social media has made it so easy. We've seen it even in our music, in the way we dance, where we suddenly have music and then it's called something else and it's so and so's music. But you're like, this is the music we sing. This is ours. This is our music. It does happen a lot. I will show you an example. I didn't ask for your permission, Fezile, but you will have to forgive me because I need to show this. I'm not saying anything. I will just leave the photo here. But we need to be careful. Some of the things that we see mass-produced were copied from Africa. It's something that's been happening for centuries. On your left, it was 2018. And then a few months later, we saw exactly the same thing in 2019. What a coincidence. Thank you very much. Let us move on to the next question. Do not.
Fezile can get you.
Oh, Fezile, we were talking about her and she can't get me. Maybe it's a good thing and she cannot sue me. Fezile, can you hear me now? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you, Thenjiwe, but it's distorting from my side.
Your mic isn't very.
It is.
Can you fix your mic?
Let me try. How is it now? Is that better?
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay, thank you.
It's okay.
Here is the, let us just, okay, Fezile will find this question, we can start. But most of the designers are targeting celebrities for middle class, and their products are expensive for general men on the street. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who wants to go first? Fezile,
Sorry,
in case the
yeah, I had to get out and come back because there was no sound at all.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Okay. Yes, I saw. Oh, you pulled that photo because I was comparing the look that I had. I'm like, oh, but I was wearing this last year, like this.
Yeah, I was just showing an example of how things that are done in Africa, you see them a few months later or a year later, and they suddenly belong to someone. So even the things that you guys put on social media, because there are people doing research and taking what's good. It's like, especially with those hashtags.
And just like that whole look that I did, and then later on a year later, then Beyonce was doing the same thing. It's not the stars, because they don't dress themselves. It's the stylists that search on how they will dress up Rihanna today. How am I dressing so and so today? I know I made a look when I was in LA, wearing boots and a coat that I made. The exact look. I think I saw.
And then suddenly.
I saw, I think it was Tiana Taylor, somebody was wearing exactly in that form. Like what exactly I was wearing. I'm like, it's not her, it's the stylist. Because they will go on social media, search for things. They will go to for Yomi suit. They will take, this is the combo. You see now, you see Puff Daddy looking all fine. You're thinking, how? But isn't this my suit as Yomi? I made this. No, it's not you. It's the stylist. And don't blame Puff Daddy. It's the stylists. That I approach.
Okay.
And this
and let us address the issue of, but most of the designers are targeting celebrities or middle class, and their products are expensive for general men on the streets. Correct me if I'm wrong.
We've covered this part. We've covered it, dissected it in different ways.
Yeah, let's just address the issue of celebrities. I think it's people not doing research. I think it's people not going to look. You are most likely to see it when it's worn by a celebrity than to see it when it's worn by someone who is not famous. That's why you think it's on celebrities. It's not because it's targeting celebrities. When something is worn by someone that you follow, you're most likely to see it.
Yes.
I don't think that you guys make clothes specifically for celebrities, but you can also correct me if I'm wrong.
Most times,
you're right.
Most times, even the celebrities, they don't even pay for these outfits. I don't know about your celebrities over there, but in Nigeria, we don't charge them money for these clothes. Even if they have to pay, sometimes they even pay less. So, but then with the African mentality, they believe, if a Ramsey Noah is wearing a Yomi Casual, for instance, they believe,
I can't hear anyone.
Hello, can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I can hear you.
Okay, good. They believe if a Ramsey Noah or a whiskey is wearing a Yomi Casual, they believe that means Yomi Casual will be very, very pricey. But they don't even know that sometimes 80%, most times, these guys wear these clothes for free. I can't see anything. What we do as Hello?
We are losing Yomi. Yomi?
Okay, fine.
Yeah, I can
the
hear you
network's
now.
a bit bad.
I can't hear anything. Nope.
Can you remove your headphones? I don't know what's happening.
Let me try that. Okay, I've removed headphones.
We have
but
lost
still, I
you.
can't hear you.
We've lost him. I think he will be coming back.
Okay, because the thing is, when you mute and unmute me, that's exactly what affects the sound. I can't hear anyone else.
Okay. Can you guys say something?
Can you get me?
Hello.
Hello?
Okay, yeah. Okay, got you
Okay,
guys.
perfect.
All right. Now I've removed those headphones. It's okay.
Okay. So while we wait for Uyomi to come back and we talk about the issue that he was addressing. I see him coming back. He is back. We have him back. Yes,
Okay.
Yomi.
Okay. Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So what I was trying to say is that some of these guys they forget the fact that we use celebrities to put some of our work out there. Me,
Yes.
for example, that's what I do. Like most of
Yes.
my designs, you always see a celebrity wearing it.
Yes.
Why? That was how I started. I tried to use celebrities to sell my brand, but in the eyes of Nigerians, where they believe, oh, if a whiskey is wearing this cloth, that means I can't even afford it. Some of them, they don't even know the price of your outfit. They're even scared to even come close. They just be like, whiskey is wearing this. No, don't go there. That must be like $1 million. Don't go there. You know, so I don't know. That's like the African mentality. You will see a Chris Brown wear a Nike shoe, and tomorrow you walk into a Nike shop to go and buy the shoe. You are so confident to go and buy it. But you see a whiskey wear my clothes, and you're telling me it's too expensive. Why?
I don't know. You've said it so well that we can't add anything.
Can I just answer Franz Kalinga? If you go to the section 20, but I have put all their contact details, well, not their phone numbers. I want them to sleep at night, not receiving your phone calls. But you can follow all our designers on their social pages. You can get in touch with them. You can inbox them. And please do follow them so that you can access more of what they have to offer.
Okay.
Fezile, you are getting warm. You are very technical.
Oh no, I was just saying the free clothes must be cut off now. It's fine.
Uthi
After
uzama
Corona,
umisi,
guys, who wants free clothes after Corona? No one has money right now. We need the money, all of us.
Uzama umisi, uthi sorry Khulekani, I guess you can't afford the designers now. The fact that you think it's expensive. That is true. It's the same thing that Yomi said. If you cannot afford a Porsche, go and buy yourself a Toyota.
Don't say Porsche is expensive.
Don't say Porsche is expensive.
Okay.
Can't just afford it.
And a lot of the times it's just mentality. We think Black shouldn't charge a certain price.
Mm-hmm.
We think if it's not from my continent, it should be cheap. We think I grew up with Yomi. How can he make money? That is our, because we can afford. You know, if Africans stopped buying European brands for a year, if every African stopped.
I think we must make t-shirts, because t-shirts are a very cool thing. As designers, I think this is what is common. A common thing we must do. A nice t-shirt. Stop asking for free clothes. Stop asking about, so all the no's. We must put all the t-shirts of things that we do not want. Stop asking us to make your cheap clothes. Stop asking us for free clothes for your social media. Stop saying you are doing me a favor or you are supporting me when you're buying from me. You are just buying. Like everywhere else.
I think you see we Africans, we are our own problem.
Exactly.
You know, I had an exhibition in ATL in Atlanta. That was last year, and I went with about 50 pieces of clothes, like my designs. So I had a fashion show. So after the show, I had a stand outside. Do you know I sold 80% of my clothes there, and they were all bought by white people. And guess what? They didn't price, because I put a price tag on it, and they just bought it straight. But you see, we Black people, we Africans, if the last time I was in your country, South Africa, I also came with some of my designs, and you see some of them still telling you, no, it's too expensive. Why would I buy that, man? No, we are Africans. Stop telling me what my pricing. We are Africans. It's our nature to price. You know, they believe they believe if you put a price tag of $20, they believe you can still come down. There must be a way.
It's a negotiating thing all the time. Your price must be
negotiating
for all the time. There's negotiations.
Yeah, and just to add on that, it's mindset really needs to go away. We Africans have a very serious problem with regards to negotiating price anyway, and it's not only limited to clothing, to clothing creators. It's something that you'll find across all boards for Africans that are running businesses, that you have to negotiate all the time. It's a very bad mindset. I've seen African people dropping like 80,000 at a store, and they pull on a show when they do it. 80,000, 80 racks straight when they purchasing, and it's just a few items for the record. It's not like it's a lot of items. I've seen it so many times with my eyes. I mean, it's not stories that are always here, but I've seen it before. So this mindset, we need to cleanse ourselves. We need God in our lives to cleanse us of that mentality. We really don't need it. It sets us back. We have to move forward collectively. You know?
I think it's something that is. I think it's something that we can work. It's something that we can change if we're able to work together as a new generation with different mindset, with a different goal, with a different kind of positivity to make sure that this industry is nice in a way that we need it to be. Most of our local people need to understand that local tailor-made garments will always be like that. Will always be expensive. Will always be because we're setting you an experience that will never get from a cloth that is made from Europe. I will give you a chance. It's an experience from the beginning. You come through my shop. I'll take your measurements. You have a contact with me. I'll make your garments. You come to fit. It fitted according to how you need it. So all that process that is involved, for custom made, we need just to change that we have as Africans, and we'll be able to do more. We'll be able to achieve and get there.
True.
Yeah, so
True.
It's all in the mind. I have seen designs. The same people who are saying African designers are expensive will drop a lot of money for this. We'll drop a lot of money for this without questioning anything. We'll drop a lot of money. We'll fly overseas to make sure they are first person in their area to have this. And then we say African designers are expensive. That's why we must respect our designers.
I think we need to open an organization. You should be all in that. Thenjiwe.
Nobody complains about this, guys. Nobody complains about this design because it was made in Europe. They say it's cool. Self-love is very important. Anyone to add anything to that while I look for new questions?
No. We're good.
Unamonde says, we are just so used to negotiating. I have not seen anyone go into.
But this is the thing. This negotiation is always one-sided. We negotiate to other. I'm not trying to be nasty or anything, but we negotiate to our own black brothers and sisters in business. You don't go to a Chinese shop and negotiate. You don't go to a white person's shop and negotiate. We don't negotiate everywhere. We are very picky and very, very picky with this negotiation and negotiating.
They say, Yomi, how acceptable are you? Do you only consider certain type of people? How do you cater for everyone to enjoy your brand? Yomi?
I do cater for everyone. Like, I have a social media account which is run by me, so I handle it. So I'm very easily accessible. It's not hard. I'm not the president. You can see me anytime.
I'm not the president.
And you do ship to other countries as well. Maybe not so easy now because of what we are going through with the lockdown. But yet, all of them, you can get their clothes wherever you are.
Yeah, of course.
Able to.
Let me just look for another question. There. How do you deal with these people who came to our continent and copy our designs and sell cheaper? Not saying they must not come, but they even copy our Makoti designs and sell cheaper.
I think we need to
up to individual designers. I will say it for you guys because I know you don't want to say it. It's the government, our leaders. Just like we were saying earlier, if we had our own mills, if we had our own factories, if we had our own industries, we would be able to compete with them. But right now, there's nothing we can do because obviously they sell in bulk, they have cheap labor, so it becomes difficult unless you guys have anything to add to that.
And they have the money
Of
to
course.
do all of that. So.
Of course, they have the. Thenjiwe, I think you've touched everything. They have the power, they have the money, and they have the capacity. They have factories for mass production. You know,
Exactly.
which we don't have. You know, so someone like me as a designer, what's his name? The owner of Zara's, what's his name? Ortega. That guy is my low-key mentor. You know, because in the fashion industry, he has been able to carve a niche for himself. He has one of the biggest names. It's not like he has the biggest name, but he's one of the richest designer, one of the richest fashion brand in the world. How did he become rich? He made his clothes very affordable. But I cannot make my clothes so affordable now because everything is done by me from my small factory. You know, so I can't be selling for $20 when I know the fabric is about the fabric in Nigeria. I'm buying from one store in Nigeria that the fabric is expensive. But a time will come in your life. We pray for that stage where you can make your own fabrics. Like these guys, they walk into the factory, they make their own fabrics, so they know how much they spend. Unlike me buying fabric from you and you buying fabric from me. Me, I want to make money. I will increase my price. If you are buying from the factory, if you are producing for you, there will be some form of reduction. Yeah. So you don't expect me to buy from Mr. A for so amount and now send my clothes for $20. It's not possible. So until we have that capacity, you know, so until we have that capacity to mass produce clothes at a very affordable rate, then we cannot bring down our price. I think Africans should really respect their designers. You know why I said so? What we do mostly, we as designers, is couture, like it's properly made from the scratch. And do you know such clothes can only be the only people that can afford such kind of designs are celebrities abroad. Only them Beyonce, them Jay-Z, because what they do, they don't wear off the rack. They'll go straight to the designer and say, "Hey, carve me a design." And that's what we do for some of our clients, but they still want to pay that pet price. You understand? So you should understand that we go through that stress. Like I will sketch my designs, I will look for a fabric that will suit that design, and I will make it for you, and you still want to pay that same price. They should understand custom made. Once it's custom made, they should understand that custom made comes with a price, with a very high price, not just small price.
And just to add on that, Yomi, is the fact that, you know, I'm gonna start sounding like a broken record, you know. Again, going back to what I said earlier on, is the fact that a tailor, one of the oldest tailors, actually narrates a story for me that buying clothes off the rack is something new. You know, it has always been a practice, a common thing that clothes are made from scratch, and it's not a cheap option. That's what people need to understand. Period. Getting clothes made from scratch is expensive.
It's expensive.
It's like when you go to a drive-through to buy a Happy Meal or 2 wings, you don't expect to pay the same as going to a 5-star restaurant, where you're going to sit on a nice table, where you're going to be served, where you're going to be given a menu. It's different. The price is not going to be the same. So think of it like that. There's a
And
difference.
do you know some of them will even walk into your store? Like for me, some will walk into your store and they will also expect you to even serve them champagne inside that $20 stuff they want to buy. And they'll remind you of when the last time they traveled to America. They entered the shop in America and they served them champagne.
Yeah. I've got Edson. He wants to know if given the chance, how would you build your brand and let it stand even after you are gone, like these other European brands?
I think earlier on we talked about that.
We talked about that.
The fact, yes, you talked about that, saying most people when they're doing their work, they can't leave it for the next generation or other people. But the thing is, being a creative and art, your passion is not transferable. You can't make people fall in love with what you fell in love with in terms of what you're working with. If you love your work, if you love your designs, to leave it to other people, it's maybe you can create a structure of training people so that they carry on. Just like when you look at these mainstream brands, they will have a head designer so that they will hire. Maybe you need to skill people. That's the only way of growing your business. You can skill people to carry on after you, but to have it being handled like you when you are here with your business, it won't be the same. It doesn't have your energy anymore. It doesn't have your touch.
I think
To be closer to
okay.
what you're doing, maybe you can push it to that, but it can't have your energy after you're gone.
True, but then again, I'm still going to counter that. And that's one of the biggest problems we are facing as Africans. If I ask you in your own country, I don't know about some of your past designers in South Africa. That at some point they were the number one designer in South Africa. Then when they passed on, their name just died down. Or is there any designer in South Africa so far that he had a name then, he died, and the name is still there today to date? No, we don't have it. We don't have it in Africa. We don't. Oh, they are still alive.
Yeah, let's take this conversation when someone dies. But for now, they're still alive. All of them.
Okay, good. So I'm actually going somewhere. I'm going somewhere. The problem we are facing as Africans, most of our designers, we don't prepare for the future. A lot of us don't.
Yes.
No,
you know why we can't prepare
it's
for
not
the
really
future
about
that
money.
much? This is the thing. You can handle your business. Right now, we are all having these issues, right? Of the fabric, of the cost, and certain customers wanting this and that. Already right now, we are still dealing with that. You still haven't reached a point where you can now handle to train other people. You are still educating your customers.
Yeah.
You still have to train people to handle your business after you. That part and financially we are not on the same footing. If you take a white child and be a designer, there's problems that already that person will not have. The funds on how to start the business, they will not suffer for that. They will not suffer the space of where to work. Like all the things that you are going through when you start up, maybe are also things that are affecting us in terms of when you die, then your business dies with you. You haven't made so much money into your business that you can leave for other people to carry on. Chances are you die and your business is in debt.
I understand, but then again, what I was trying to say is that we as Africans, we don't plan for the future. I will still go back there, because if I ask you now, what are your plans? What plans are you making so far? We don't pray for anybody to die, but definitely we will all die someday. We definitely. No, someday it's gonna happen. That's reality for life. That's reality. It's gonna happen, but we don't pray for it to happen soon.
100 years from now, I know what you're talking about.
Good. It might be 100 years from now or 150 years from now. I don't know how long you want to stay. But then again, I believe we as Africans, designers, the reason why one of our biggest problems, you cannot see a fashion brand that will stand in the test of that stands for years.
But how long have we been in this game so that we have people who have died and left that? Like, you took Ackermans, Pep, all these things have been there even before we were all born. Like,
Fine, because you know
maybe
why?
let's make an
Why Pep?
example of
Why
this
Pep?
this
The reason,
designer who
the
died
reason why
and
you see,
business
the
died.
reason why you see them Pep, them Zara are still in business. If the owner of Zara has nothing to do with the business, because you know why? While he was working as a designer, he also had somebody he was training, grooming to take over the business. But a lot of us are so selfish. We think about it now, just now business. We don't bother about the future. You know, we don't have anything put.
I do agree. But also,
but also you can't. You need someone who's also passionate about that.
That's the thing.
Sometimes you want to work with someone who also wants that. If you want to train someone, that person must want that. You can't. The thing is, if you just hire someone or put someone in your business, some of them I know from a shop. Someone was just, and she told me later on that this is not something that she likes doing. So you see, you understand. I fully agree with you, but the person that you are grooming and the person that you are grooming must be the person who's willing to do the same thing that you're doing.
The thing is, we need to put up, if we need to grow in that area, we need to put up structures that helps our business to grow. But in most cases, as African designers, the mentality we have, we want to handle everything from accounts, from reception.
Exactly what I was trying to talk about. Exactly. You just allow somebody to do it for you.
Yes,
you want
we
to
need
be secretary, the designer, the fabric shop,
so that even when you're not there, the business can go on. I'll give an example. When you travel, Yomi, when you travel out of Nigeria, does mean that there's no operation at your office. The operation needs to go on.
Another problem again, part of what you're saying, we need to beg our customers. We need to beg them. We need to kneel down and beg them. Beg all of them that, you know what, if I'm not around, someone else can attend to you, please. I mustn't be the one to attend to you.
Yes, that's
we as Africans, we have that mentality that if the owner of the shop is not around, no, I'm not going there.
That's the thing you need to learn. We need to learn to start from the structure of the business.
It's not even us now. We have to even beg them. We have to create like a policy that says, hey, Mr. Daniel can attend to you if I'm not around, please. Yes,
that's the struggle. I have the struggle. Even me, I have the same struggle.
Now with online, people can see you.
They will never. They will just be like, "He's not here." They won't do anything. They'll wait for me to come.
Of course,
that's the problem.
I remember one time I sent my tailors to a client, and he happens to be a very big politician. And when they got to his house, the guy sent them back. And why did he send them back? He was shouting. He called me, Yomi, so you have the nerves to send me commoners. You send common tailors to my house. You know who I am? Do you know who I am? Yomi, I said, sir, these people are equally good as me. He said, no, don't try that again in your life. That is the African mentality. They believe that, because of my status, I should be dealing with the CEO direct. But when you go, but that same man will go to the bank to withdraw money. He will not ask for the owner of the bank.
No.
Yeah. But I think they take it.
When you go to Canada, does he ask for the owner? It's
exactly like going to a barber for a haircut. You have one specific person who wants to touch, So I think they take it as that. But it's not like a haircut, because if clothes are there, you don't need to.
Until we are able to rectify that, trust me, we'll keep having problems.
Yeah.
So we need to put up structures that allows us to mentor other people, so that if when you are not there, the businesses that we are running can go on. That's the thing. You cannot be the same. I'm the accountant. The person in charge of getting fittings. The person in charge of delivery. It cannot work like that. But we need to put up structures if we have to grow our brands to compete at international level, or to exist even when we are gone. We need to put up structures that allows our business to thrive.
That's with the people who wants to do the same thing too.
Yes, I
That's
like
the
that.
only way, because the same thing you can't just have you can't have a surgery as a doctor and then you're not hiring nurses, you're hiring your friends. That's a problem. They're exactly just like in business. They have to love what we're doing. Even if you're grooming people, they have to love fashion, they have to love clothes, they have to love this. Otherwise, it will also die immediately after you will follow you.
But again, people begin to learn things when they learn. There are moments, even like from when you were young, you started falling in love with fashion because of the people that were around, because of the environment you are in. That's the thing. We need to develop a mentality for the young ones to say that they can still, we can still teach them, that we can still be mentored by. All they need is their guidance. We just need to identify them when they are still young, because when somebody is young, they are able to learn and they are able to understand what you are trying to put up to them. We just need to make sure that we identify these younger talent that are there in the industry, that are eager, that are passionate about what we are doing, so that we work with them, we create structures that will allow them to even run these businesses, even when we're not there. I know it's very
True.
hard, but we can do it. It's just a mentality that we need to change. It's just a thing that we need to work on. It's not something we achieve tomorrow, but when we take a step as local designers, as African designers, as international designers, we are able to achieve this. So let's take one step. Let's take one child pay. Even like, okay, let me mentor one for a year and see how that comes out. I think that can be one of our challenges that we can give us as African designers. We need to do that. We need to do that. Because the more we do that, the more we create space. We need to take up space, These young ones should start taking up space from us and learn from us and learn how to run these businesses, even when we are not.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
anyone?
it's a point that I had made earlier on in passing. I actually made an example of
Thenjiwe,
London,
give us
Silver
closing
Row.
remarks.
Sorry, Yomi, were you saying something?
Yomi?
Yeah, I said give us closing remarks.
Yes. Yes. It was your point, by the way. So that was because you were saying something on it. It was a very interesting thing to say. We die and our brands die like with us.
Yeah.
So that is a very thing.
So what I'm trying to say, or what I'm trying to get at, is an example that I made of what's happening abroad in London. Is that they've actually established schools that will actually ensure the continuity of all houses, suiting houses in Savile Row. So I think that's another approach that we need to approach to the direction that we need to take as Africans. Shit.
Yeah, people are saying there seems to be a lot of comments about you guys being expensive.
Are you guys there?
Yeah,
We've
I'm
addressed
here.
we've addressed the prices.
Yeah, that's what I want to
We've
say.
addressed that
But
a
we are
couple of
not
times.
going to address the price again. Again, I will say it's because people do not want to respect African designers. People do not complain when they are buying things from other countries. The same thing that you would never buy from Africa. If it comes with an international brand, you guys are buying this for a lot of money because suddenly they were now associated with a designer that is international. These Ghana must go bags. People did not complain about
Yeah.
the price. People bought
Okay.
them. So why must we complain when our own people are working hard at selling us? I think the money it has been addressed, and our designers are actually working much harder. For some of the things that we buy from our overseas brands. Like, guys, seriously, someone will pay their whole 2 months salary to look homeless. Like, why pay to look homeless, but you don't want to pay to look good?
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just look at, I've got
Are we signing out?
coming in. There is a question that I would like you to address. I think it's going to be our last question we address for today. I like the point of people dying with their legacy, which is a tragedy. My question is, what social corporate responsibility are you doing in your respective area or community or country?
Right now, all of us as designers, I'm answering France now so that we can wrap it up. We
Secondly,
are all doing right now. Please go back to his first question. His question, the other question that you brought. Thank you. This is the last question, and we wrap this up. The social corporate responsibility we are doing, all of us right now, France, is doing masks. That is our responsibility we're doing. Aren't we all doing masks?
Yes,
That is a service we are giving to the community. We are doing masks. We are working very hard. In fact, we are essentials at this point. I think we've wrapped it.
If you are looking for a designer mask, you know who to come to. Anything to add, guys?
No.
God. You leave me alone, please.
Nah, they're taking this mask too far. This mask situation, no.
It's designer, guys. It's designer.
So this corona only affects the nose parts. The mouth, it's just covering this part of the.
This one is from South Africa, right?
Yo, please leave us alone with all the nonsense. Not all the nonsense is from South Africa. Yes, we are crazy people parts, you know.
So, guys, you know where to go if you are looking for your mask. Don't be coming to me.
Okay, I'll be following you guys on your pages.
Their information is there on the page.
Where is the information? Where is the information?
Your guys' information.
Actually, it's fine because it's on Instagram. I saw it on Instagram, so it's okay.
Yeah,
I'll get it on Insta.
Yeah. So
all right.
You have seen that these are our designers who they are working hard. They are working hard to make sure. Anyone to add on the social responsibility, please?
We've covered it. This is what we're doing.
Masks.
That's exactly what we're doing, France. That's it. Nothing else. It ends there. There's nothing that is a priority anyway. Remember, there's Corona. So
basically, this is what everybody needs now. Apart from this,
exactly, this is exactly what we do.
Apart from the face mask, they also want us to give them our hard-earned savings as giveaway. Like, so these are the only things we are doing now. We are doing face masks and we are doing giveaways.
Can I also answer for you guys when it comes to that social responsibility? The fact that you are creating, because you do not.
And this is the thing. We're busy making clothes. Corona came, and then now we are doing social responsibility for the society and the community. They're doing the right thing right now.
And each and every one of you employs other people. You don't do absolutely everything, and also you do give business to other industries. Because without you having your industry, some people will not have an industry. Some people will not have jobs. So I believe that you are doing your social responsibility there. And I know some of you are philanthropists. You do give to your communities. And obviously, you're not at a stage because the 1.2 billion Africans are not yet supporting you the same way they are supporting brands from overseas. But once we get to that level of support, then you guys will be able to build schools and do the big things as part of your social responsibility. For now, every person can just do what they can afford.
Yeah.
Okay. We've wrapped.
Ulado makes a very important point. It takes a lot of maturity to understand that just because you started a business doesn't automatically make you a CEO. Mm. What was the second question of Franz? Secondly, what grooming opportunities do you have for upcoming fashion designers? Who are you grooming and what advice would you give to those trying to make it? Yep.
You have
Anyone
to start.
say
That's the first thing. You have to start. This is the last
You
question,
have-
right? You have to start. There's no other way. I was told that before. I come from a background where I've been working from 9 to 5, and the fashion came after. You have to start. You have to be part of it. Just like the same advice you give someone who wants to get on stage and start comedy, get on stage. There's absolutely no other way. You cannot prove that you are funny without you being on stage. Exactly the same thing. But when I started a couple of years ago, which is like 3 years ago, then now my skills have improved a lot. So you learn as you grow, you start. That's the response I can give Franz. Franz, we've been here for 2 hours. Stop with your questions.
And be willing to learn. That's the other point. Be willing to learn to everybody that has been in the industry longer than you. It's something that we need to do as even the upcoming designers. We need to learn from the people that have been there for long, how it's done, how things are supposed to be done, what they need to understand, what they need to know. You need to learn from the people that you found in the industry. That's the only way you can create a stable brand. And be intentional and authentic. If you are like that, if the moment you're building the brand, you are authentic and you are intentional of what kind of brand you want to build, go forth with that. But be willing to learn from the people that you found in the industry. That's the best thing you can do for yourself. They understand more of what is going on in the industry.
True.
Yomi Casual, anything to add to that before we wrap up?
Basically, this one question I'm always running from, because sometimes some people will hold you tomorrow in the future and say, this advice you gave to me didn't work. Because whatever works for Mr. B might not work for Mr. A.
Yeah.
You understand? Yeah. Just same way some of you who are watching this right now, you've heard us say stuff like you are not making free stuff for people and everything. But whatever works for you may not work for whatever works for me may not work for you. Because when I started as a designer, I won't lie to you, I made a lot of free clothes. I did make a lot of free clothes.
Yeah, we all have given free
starting point.
There's absolutely no way, of course. At some point, you will give some.
I think it's compulsory. Because at that point, you're trying to gain your audience. You're trying to gain followers. You're trying to make people see what you do. So, and if you don't have the money to pay for adverts and all those stuff, which I know that as an upcoming designer, nobody have the money to pay for adverts. So I think one of the easiest way for people to see your product is by giving it out for free. Sometimes to people that matters, that's where celebrities come in. Then another thing again, I think you should also understand your industry very well. Understand your industry. A lot of people don't know what they want. They just see, because they see Mr. A posted a picture of a Lamborghini on his page and say, tailor money, shopping the money. And you be like, father, I've changed my dream. I want to be a tailor. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of people, we have misplaced priorities. A lot of people don't really know what they want. All they want is money. That's why whenever I get email like, Yomi, I want to be a designer, I'll be like, what do you want? Are you coming to me because you saw me driving a sports car that is branded place my tailor? Is that why you're coming to me? Or you really want to be a designer? Because I think as a young designer, you need to understand that everything is a process. You need to understand what process means and growth. These things they will come. Just give it time. Just give it time. You cannot compare my lifestyle now. You don't know how many years I've been hustling. You don't know my hustle. So now that you see that everything's a bit rosy for me, doesn't mean that that's how easy the fashion industry is. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. So you need to follow the due process. Then another thing again, you can't do everything. I see people trying to do everything. You see somebody saying, I make blouse, I make suits, I make agbada,
Yeah, you can't do
I make
everything.
medicine. You
Yes.
can't do everything. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You can't do everything.
I make
You know,
wedding gowns.
I think the
I
people
make
that
dress,
try to
I
do
make
everything,
sportswear.
what they want is just money.
Yeah.
That's all. That's what they want. When you interview some of them, say, like, what's your plan? Say, I want to make money. I want to be very big.
Yeah, they want to make money, not
I want to be
personal
celebrated.
clothes.
They are more concerned about the future, like what will happen later. What about now? What are you going to do to make those things happen? So allow people know you for something. Let them know you for something. When they see your work, they should be able to say, oh, this is Mr. Kenneth's work. Don't just start making everything like they don't even know what you make.
Yeah.
So
You're
the
making
day I think of making suits, I would think of my brother James Valor. James and Valor, you know. So because I know that, oh fine, this is his brand. He has put it out there like, oh, this is what I really make. You must have that your brand identity, that thing that they should know you for.
Yeah.
A lot of people, they don't know them for anything. They know them for everything. They should just know you for something. Thenjiwe, I'm sure you know I'm saying the truth. Even as a comedian, there's a particular joke that you've said before that they still know you for it today.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, like me, if they ask me to describe you, I will tell them your style of comedy. I already know your style of comedy, and they know you for that. That is your style. You made that your style. But the day you start trying to do your style like Kenny Black and the rest, trust me, it won't work for you.
That is true.
You can't be everything. You can just be one thing. They should know you for that thing. Then after they know you for that thing, then you can
expand to something else. You've repped it, Yomi. We've repped it.
This is not a job. You are not doing it just to get paid.
No.
You are not doing it just to get paid.
Okay.
I think we have covered everything, but if you guys have any last words, anyone with any last words?
We need to do more as in terms of working together as designers, as African designers. After this corona, we need to do more collaboration. We need to put each other in front of each other, like so that we can get where we want to be. We need to be each other's brothers or sisters keeper in the industry so that we grow together. So post-corona, like we need to work together. We need to collaborate more. We need to motivate each other more. We need to communicate like the way we've made here as a unit. It's not just something that we need to learn from here, but we need to learn to coexist even after this so that we're able to continue learning from each other. Like Yomi has been in the industry for 15 years. That's a long time. For us startups, like for me, who's been here for 4 years, I have a lot to learn from Yomi. I have a lot to learn from him in terms of how he's managed to get his brand to where it is. How he's managed to get to the level of positioning his brand in a way that is the way it's growing. So we need to learn from each other. We need to make sure that we learn from what the next person is doing and how we can achieve what we've discussed here so that we're able to produce these products locally. It will be cheaper for us as a company. So we need to look into that.
Anything to add?
No, I'm good.
Okay. James, anything to add? Any last words? Scelo, can you hear me? Okay, it seems like we have lost the Scelo. Yomi, last words, or have you? Okay. Internet is saying you guys have been talking for too long. That's what the internet is saying. We'll just wrap it up there. And guys, Pelani says he respects. I do respect my country. Thank you so much. Fezile wants to be released. Please listen to her. Fezile.
Hello?
Yeah, so
Yes, I can hear you.
So guys, thank you very much, and let us support our local brands. Let us support our own people. And Africa, we have enough population, 1.2 billion people. We can spend the money locally. We can contribute to our progress and GDP. Thank you so much, guys, and do not forget that we are going through Corona, COVID-19. Always wear your mask. Always make sure you wash your hands. Always make sure that you are protected and you are doing the right thing. We all want to come out of this as healthy as we possibly can. Thank you everyone for watching. Please do share the link and please do follow our designers on their various platforms. Thank you so much. Bye.